What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew, and this is one of those sad recordings that we've got to do. We typically don't have to do it overly often. Geelong players just seem to be so evergreen, and they just don't ever seem to want to retire or even seem to need to retire. But Mitch Duncan is unfortunately hanging up the boots at the end of the season. Now, that is, of course, pending any appearances before the remainder of the season. Maybe here's a call-up for some stage during our finals campaign this year. We'll have to wait and see. But Mitch Duncan has officially hung up the boots. We all got the sense that this was coming after his recent VFL appearance. We saw Billy Smets go running onto the ground. We saw this epic goal at the end of the game that prompted that storming the ground, I might add. The Mitch Duncan era seemed like it was really imminently coming to a close. There, of course, had been some rumors that he might go to another club to play and coach. That seems to not be the case, at least in the playing capacity, but he has announced, unfortunately, that he will be retiring at the end of the AFL season. One of Geelong's greatest players in the history, one of the greatest players in the history of the club, Geelong Football Club, Mitch Duncan, has announced that he retire at the end of the 2025 season. And of course, the thing that I think of the most when it comes to Mitch Duncan is his lethality with ball in hand. He operated, and I saw some beautiful little graphic that was posted by the Geelong Football Club that showed his basically every kick that he got in his entire career plotted on a little mock AFL ground. And he was operating at like 72% efficiency throughout his career by foot, which is absurdly high. And of course, so many of those have been these wonderful deliveries inside 50 into the hands of the likes of Tom Hawkins and Jeremy Cameron and more recently Shannon Neal. He's been so important. James Podsiadly, I should shout out along the way as well, as another prominent forward in his period of dominance for the Cats. He's been an incredible player for us over many, many, many years, and he's finally hanging up the boots. I know many of you who are watching this have probably felt it coming for a while now. It's now official, but he announced it this week that the two-time premiership cat, Mitch Duncan, has announced he will retire at the end of the Cats' 2025 AFL campaign. Again, leaving himself available so that if required, he is there. Some general comments from him. Certainly the behavior when he played that VFL game would suggest that he's not of the mind that he'll be required or that he'll be selected, but he may still be needed. So Mitch Duncan, 34, informed his teammates of the decision on Friday morning as the Cats prepare to enter their 14th final series in his AFL career. Renowned as a highly skilled player whose versatility saw him slot seamlessly into various roles over the years, of course, beginning and really asserting himself throughout 2011, featuring in our premiership team, including as a midfielder, forward, and running defender. Duncan enjoyed premiership success early in his career, playing a role in the Cats' 2011 triumph as the youngest member in the team in his second AFL season. Of course, he was the sub that day, if you recall, coming on for when James Podsiadly went down with his shoulder. They talk about this in the next paragraph. Starting as a substitute, he came on for an injured James Podsiadly during the second quarter and collected 10 disposals as well as kicking an important goal. He played a significant role as the Cats saluted again in 2022, collecting 27 disposals, 13 marks, and a goal in Geelong's big win over the Sydney. And of course, many people talk about how Mitch Duncan, maybe defensive pressure wasn't his greatest thing, maybe a tackling game wasn't his greatest strength, but that goal came from a fantastic tackle early in the third quarter to ensure that Geelong had their foot on Sydney's throat throughout that day. I think it was a really important and symbolic moment that he led. Thank you, Mitch Duncan. Recruited out of Korean and East Perth in Western Australia with pick 28 in the 2009 National Draft, Duncan has played 305 games to date with Geelong and kicked 185 goals since making his debut in round 1 of 2010. Of course, got this great photo of Mitch and Tom Hawkins from the 2022 Premiership. He was awarded Geelong Cats Life Membership in 2017 and received an AFL Life membership earlier this year and celebrated his 300th game in round 11 this year, becoming just the 7th player in Geelong Football Club history to do so. Duncan has been a valuable member of Geelong's AFL program on and off the field for the last 16 years. He was a member of the Cats player leadership group across 7 seasons and has 7 top 10 finishes in the Cargie Greaves medal count, including a runner-up finish in 2017 and third placing in 2014. This is a guy who, in my mind, has been criminally underrated, not only across the AFL competition, but across his entire career. Not many people will play 300 games without achieving some sort of AFL or at least club level recognition. of a significant level, with be it All Australian, Brownlow medals, best and fairest, whatever. Mitch Duncan has somehow managed to go his career without accumulating any of those, unfortunately, but he's been so important over the years. And I think the thing that always kind of held him back is there'd always be an injury that would knock him out for a few weeks. It was never a big, long-standing one. He'd always come back and perform really well, but there was always something that kind of got in the way that kind of derailed him in some of those biggest, most successful years that he had. It's unfortunate, but I think for any of you watching right now, I think you all know how important he's been over many, many years. And regardless of the accolades or relative lack of compared to some of his teammates, he has undoubtedly been one of the most important players to step foot in the club in the last 20 years. Duncan has been a valuable member of... Oh, sorry, no, we've got that. After 16 years at AFL level, I feel now is the right time to hang up the boots, Duncan said. Every day, I thank Stephen Wells for calling out my name on draft night in 2009. I'm grateful to have been a part of this club, a club filled with so many great people, past and present, who've not only taught me about football, but have also helped mold me into the person I am. And of course, we all know Mitch Duncan to be an incredible family man. We talk about the Geelong Football Club being the big family club. He's been a huge part of that. At the end of our season, I'll sit back and reflect more. However, I know that I couldn't have enjoyed the career I have had if it wasn't for my wife, children, and immediate family for always supporting and giving me the best opportunity to have success in my career. While I'm making this decision now, over the next month, I'm focused on doing everything I can to help the Cats win its next premiership, whether that's on field or off the field. And of course, yeah, he may not necessarily get a game through this finals campaign. He may not, if we were to, touch wood, go all the way and win a premiership, he may not be standing out there on the field on the day, but he's undoubtedly been a massive part of any success that this club achieves this year. Hopefully, it is the ultimate one. And everyone will have some sort of thanks for Mitch Duncan and what he's contributed in season 2025. Geelong Cats Executive General Manager for Football, Andrew Mackey, who played alongside Duncan from 2011 to 17, congratulated Duncan on his career. Mitch has been an outstanding person in football to have had at our club over the last 16 years. A trademark over Mitch's 305 games to date has been his skill and high football IQ, allowing him to play with such flexibility for whatever the team has required, and continues to be a true team-first player. And there's some more sentiments here, but what I really want to get to here is this snapshot of his AFL career. He's a two-time premiership player in 2011 and 22, 305 games to date, 185 goals to date, an AFL Life member, a Geelong Cats Life member. He's the seventh, as was mentioned earlier on, the seventh player to wear the jersey 300 times in an AFL game for the Cats. He's finished in the top 10 of the Carji medal 7 times, including his runner-up place in 2017. And has featured in 28 finals appearances across 13 Cats finals campaigns to date. And he's been a member of the Geelong Leadership Group in 2014 and 16 through 21. Thank you, Mitch Duncan, for all that you've accomplished. But before we wrap things up, let's take a little look here at a clip that the Cats have compiled highlighting some of strike here and strike this video from YouTube. But I mean, some of these, like that mark there, super early on in his career against the likes of Baker, who were pretty damn solid and steel defenders at that particular point in time. He's been absolutely sensational over many, many years. And there's that kick. Whether it's big, long, raking ones like we're seeing here with this big kick from outside as well, or some of those shorter precision passes. He's been absolutely sensational. There's that iconic talk from only last 24 months. That's right. It was 2022. And of course, here's the other one, the Zach Tui that led to Zach Tui's crowning moment as an AFL player, individual moment. There's the tackle I was talking about before that set the tone for that second half and ensured that Geelong wasn't going to get caught on the day. But Mitch, you've been a phenomenal player over many, many years. We are all incredibly thankful for what you have provided the Geelong Football Club and its tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of fans across the country. You've done some incredible things. There's the big goal in 2011, coming on as the sub as well. Mitch, it has been an absolute pleasure to watch you over many, many years. I took you under, as a fan, for whatever better phrase, took you under the wing very, very early on. You've done some incredible things. You're a massive part of my football and consumption at the Cats. And thank you from the very bottom of my heart. And I think on behalf of everyone at the Hoops crew and all of the people who have watched Geelong football over many years, thank you very, very much for everything you provided the Cats. And all the best on whatever comes next. There are, of course, these rumblings that you might get into some coaching. And if that's the case, I'm sure you are going to be phenomenal for the Cats or whatever club it is that you do that work for. You're a genius. You have incredible footballing IQ, as Andrew Mackey said. And I think you're going to be wonderful for whatever club you go on to work with now and in the future. Mitch, depending on how the stars align, maybe or maybe we won't see you out on the field for an AFL Grand Final in 2025. But if we do go all the way, you have been a massive part of that, and we owe so much to you. Thank you, Mitch Duncan, for everything that you've done for this football club. And that is where we'll wrap things up. Cats fans, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the Hoops Crew on YouTube, check out all of the content we're producing there. Also, go check out our Patreon. There's a $5 cost per month to get access to a whole bunch of early access, exclusive and extended content. There's also a 7-day free trial to see if it's for you before you commit that money. But thank you. It helps grow our platform and gets more content out there for you. You'll find me in socials, Paul James Games. That's on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. The Hoops Crew is at the Hoops Crew. And until next time, remain Geelong strong, everyone. Again, thank you, Mitch Duncan. You've been so important for so many years. And all the best with whatever comes next. I'll see you later.